Hello students, I hope all of you are doing very well. Welcome to my YouTube channel Pratik Singh Classes. In today's video, we are going to start chapter 5, Periodic Classification of Elements. This is the 21st video for standard 10th science and first for chapter 5. Okay, the previous 20 videos are for unit 1, 2, 3 and 4. Fine. So let us start our today's topic. Okay, that is chapter 5, periodic classification of elements. But before we start our today's class, I request you all once again that if you are new to my channel, please subscribe it now, okay, and hit the bell icon so that whenever I will upload a new video, you will get its instant notification, okay. And also please like the channel and ask your queries, your doubts, whatever you will have, okay, related to the previous topics which we have seen in previous videos or related to this topic, okay, in the comment section of this video. On every Sunday we will go through a questionnaire session which will be live on YouTube, okay, on my channel. Fine. So let us start our today's class. Okay, about periodic table, you must know that it is the arrangement of elements according to the atomic number, okay. And till now we have 118 elements known, okay, in which up to 93 are the elements which are known in the earth, and also the next after 94, okay, we have the elements which are man-made or artificial elements. How those are made we will discuss at the end of this chapter, okay. But before we go through this lesson, okay, let me ask you a question, that have you seen periodic table or not? Okay, if not, it is given at the end of your book and also in this chapter, and you can also buy it from the market, okay. For your class 10th, you must know how the elements are classified into different groups and rows, okay. Then what are lanthanides and actinides, just a short brief, okay. Then you have to know about the noble gases, then about electronic configuration, means how the electrons are arranged in the cells. We already have seen in the previous videos in previous chapter, okay. So let us start our today's class, periodic classification of elements. In class 9th, we have learned that matter around us is present in the form of elements, compounds and mixtures, and the elements contain atoms of only one type, okay. So what we have seen in the previous classes is that around us we have elements, we have compounds and we have mixtures, okay. And whenever we talk about any element, okay, all the atoms in a single element are similar to each other, are alike to each other. Do you know how many elements are known till date? Okay, as I already have said you, it is 118 elements till now. All these have different properties. Out of these 118, okay, only 98 are naturally occurring, means we have 93 elements found in our nature, okay, in abundant, okay, in which 93 are most known and the remaining 5 are known in traces. As different elements were being discovered, scientists gathered more and more information about the properties of these elements, okay. Every element is one or the other way different from each other, every other element, okay. And when the number of elements increased, okay, scientists discovered their properties, okay, physical properties, chemical properties and a lot of other things about them, okay, and which made a very big encyclopedia. They found it difficult to organize all that was known about the elements, okay. So it was very difficult for the scientists to arrange them, okay, or to organize them in a series so that it should be easier for us to memorize it, okay. If I ask you how many elements are there, you can easily say it is 118. If I ask you what are the elements in first group or first period, okay, it will become difficult, okay. So we need some series, we need some sequence, okay, or some property on which we can make the adjustments of element after each other, okay. The scientists started looking for some pattern in their properties on the basis of which they could study such a large number of elements with ease, okay. Means scientists tried that on what property we can make the elements arrange in a sequence so that it will become easier for us, to everybody, to memorize it, to have a case study on it, to know the properties. It is like when one element is there and we know its property, then about next element or the previous element we can configure out, okay, so this is the central atom, so the next atom and the previous atom may have this similar type of property. Okay, so coming to section 5.1, making order out of chaos, early attempt at the classification of elements. Okay, till now different scientists have tried to make different arrangements, okay, based on atomic number, based on atomic mass, and a lot of other phenomenon. Okay, some of them were rejected, some were accepted, and some were you can say restructured. Okay, so what are those things we will see in this section 5.1. Alright, section 5.1, making order out of chaos, early attempt at the classification of elements. We have been learning now how various things or living beings are can be classified on the basis of their properties. Okay, a lot of things we will study in biology, where when we will study about diversity and this nature, there we will see how living organisms are being classified into different groups. But here we will talk all about the chemistry part, that is how elements are being classified in a group or in a period according to their physical and chemical behaviors, properties. Even in other situations we come across instances of organization based on some properties. For example, in a soap, soaps are kept together at one place while biscuits are kept together elsewhere. Okay, the shopkeeper organizes his soap, okay, so that it becomes very easy for him or her to find out where the things are being kept. Okay, when you go to a shop, the shopkeeper knows very well that at which place, okay, what things are being kept, okay, so that it is easier for them to find it out, and the time consumption to search it is less, and the service is fast. Okay, even among soaps, bathing soaps are stacked separately from washing soap. Similarly, scientists are made several attempts to classify elements according to their properties and obtain an orderly arrangement out of chaos. Okay, so when you go to supermarket, when you see the rack of soaps, there you can see that bathing soaps are put at different place, washing soaps are put in different place. Okay, then detergent soaps, okay, are put at different place in the same row, okay, in such a way that it becomes easier for us to find it out and easier for the shopkeepers to arrange it and to search it. Okay, it makes our work very easy. Likewise, scientists have made several attempts to find out the property, okay, so that to search the behavior, to see the behavior, to study about the elements, okay, becomes very easy. Okay, the earliest attempt to classify the elements resulted in grouping the then known elements as metals and non-metals. Later, further classifications were tried out as our knowledge of elements and their properties increased. Okay, so earlier the number of elements were very less known. Okay, so the scientists have separated them in the group of metals and non-metals, but as their and as they are being researching day by day, they have got a lot of different types of elements and also different properties. So it becomes very tough job for them to arrange them, okay, to classify them according to the knowledge what they have at that time. The first one, okay, Döbner's triads, okay, section 5.1.1. Even though this triad is none of the use now, but it gives a lot of hints that how Döbner has tried to arrange the elements, okay, in triplets. Okay, and it is a great importance, or you can also say that it is the ice melting point for the further physicists and chemists to find out a trade in the elements, okay, in their properties, and to make the work easy. Okay, so this is more than 200 years earlier. In year 1817, Johann Wolfgang Döbner, this too long name, a German chemist, tried to arrange the elements with similar properties into groups. He identified some groups having 3 elements each, so he called these group triads. Okay, so what he does is he tried to arrange the elements in a group, and what he found that that the properties of elements in the group of 3 are similar. Okay, because it is the group of 3, so it is called as triads. Dauvergne showed that when the elements in a triad were written in the order of increasing atomic masses, the atomic mass of the middle element was roughly the average of atomic masses of the other 2 elements. Okay, so what it was really that when the elements were written in arranging order or ascending order of their mass, okay, it was find out the middle element is approximately, not equally, but approximately equal to the average of the previous and next 2 elements. For example, if you take the triad of lithium, sodium and potassium, okay, with respect to their atomic masses, the atomic mass of lithium is 6.9 AMU or just U, okay, that of sodium is 23 and potassium is 39 U. Okay, what is the average of the atomic mass of lithium and potassium? If you see here, 6.9 plus 39 divided by 2, okay, and compare this to the mass of sodium, what do you get? Okay, so as it is given in table 5.1 with relation to some other elements, okay, so here you can find out that the mass of sodium is approximately the average of the mass of lithium and potassium. So this lithium, sodium and potassium is called as a triad. Okay, and this theory was given by Dauvergne. Okay, so coming to next topic. Given table 5.1 are some group of 3 elements. These elements are arranged downwards in order of increasing atomic masses. Okay, so let us see whether Dauvergne was correct in his thought. Okay, so if you see group A elements, sodium, potassium and astatine, okay, atomic mass of sodium is that of 14, that of astatine is 74.9. okay, so if you suppose this as 75, 74.9 as 75, it will become 75 plus 14. How much is that? 75 plus 10, 85, 85 plus 4, 89. Okay, and the average of 89, how much will be that? Okay, if it is 89, it must be 45 approximately, but it is for here potassium it is 31. So Dauvergne is roughly correct, not exactly, okay, in his thought. For group B elements, if you see calcium, strontium and barium, okay, strontium's atomic mass is barely the average of calcium and barium, okay, and likewise for group C elements. You will find that the group B and C form Dauvergne triads. Okay, Dauvergne could identify only 3 triads from the elements known at that time. Okay, means in year 1817, yes, 1817, at that time whatever the elements were known, okay, according to the Dauvergne classification, it was correct. Okay, hence the system of classification into triads was not found to be useful as we have increased the number of elements. Okay, as you can see here, group A elements, it doesn't prove Dauvergne's triad. Okay, and about him, it is given here. Johann Wolfgang Dauvergne studied as a pharmacist at Mecklenburg in Germany and then studied chemistry at Strasbourg. Okay, both the places are in Germany. Eventually, he became a professor of chemistry and pharmacy at the University of Jena, and this university is still learning now. Dauvergne made the first observation on platinum as a catalyst and discovered similar triads of elements, which led to the development of periodic tables of elements at that time. Okay, so at the time whatever the elements were known, he was the first person to classify them, okay, and arrange them into the periodic table. Okay, so this this had further led to the great achievements in the field of physics and chemistry. Now coming to section 5.1.2, that is Newland's law of octaves. Okay, octave, the names itself suggest, okay, it is related to something number 8. The attempts of Dauvergne encourage other chemists to correlate the properties of elements with their atomic masses. Okay, the basis of Dauvergne triad was that of atomic mass. Okay, and further this thought, okay, that how elements can be arranged according to their atomic mass has led many other scientists to work, okay, and give something new to the world. In 1866, John Newland, an English scientist, arranged the then known elements in the order of increasing atomic masses. Okay, so, you can visualize that arranging the elements into atomic mass is not a good idea, because there are many elements which have same atomic mass and many elements which have different atomic masses. Okay, about allotropes we will study further, okay, which has led to the disaster for this triad and octave rule. But first we have to know what are the basic things at the time given by the scientists. He started with the elements having the lowest atomic mass, hydrogen, and ended at thorium, which was the 56th element, okay, known at that time. Okay, you know, even in today's periodic table, we don't know what is the exact location of hydrogen, even though it is placed at group 1, row 1, but hydrogen has 3 forms, okay, deuterium and tritium are the other forms, okay, and we don't know at which place exactly the hydrogen be placed, okay. So that is the drawback of modern periodic table. And also, if you will see, there are 2 rows separated, okay, in the PT, that is a lanthanides and actinides series, okay. That is also a drawback of the modern periodic table, but we will not go in that much depth now. I just have said these things for your information. Okay, coming back to this Newland's law of octaves. He started with the element having the lowest atomic mass, hydrogen, and ended with that of thorium, which is the 56th number element. He found that every 8th element had properties similar to that of the first. So if you arrange all of them according to their atomic mass from 1 to 56, okay, you will find out that every 8th element has the properties similar to the previous 8th element. Okay, he compared this to the octaves found on music, okay, and that is called as law of octaves. Okay, if you will study this in the India context of physics and chemistry, our old theory about elements were far better than that of the modern science, okay, which were given by the Western world. Or if you will go deep in these things about our ancient science, you will know that at that time the work done by the philosophers of India was so great, okay, that even today's world has an awe that how they have done it, and even some work are not clearly described till now, okay, according to the modern science. Alright, coming back, he compared these two octaves found in the music, okay, therefore this law is called as octaves, okay, that is just like sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa, okay, and in English we say do re fa so, something like that. It is known as Newland's law of octaves, okay. In Newland's octaves, the properties of lithium and sodium were found to be same, okay. Sodium is the 8th element after lithium, and so their properties were found to be same. Similarly, beryllium and magnesium resemble each other because it is the 8th element from each other. A part of original form of Newland's octaves is given in table 5.3. So let us see how he has arranged the elements, okay. So coming back here, so as it is given here, do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, okay, that is the notes of music, sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, sa. So hydrogen, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine. So as you can see here, fluorine is the 8th element after hydrogen, so the properties of fluorine must be similar to that of hydrogen, okay. Likewise, if you see, calcium is the 8th element after magnesium, so the properties of calcium and magnesium resemble each other, okay, means they are similar in some or the other way, okay. If you see here, zirconium and indium, they are the 8th elements from each other, and so their properties must be equal or same to each other. So are you familiar with the musical notes, these sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, sa, okay, how they are being arranged? In the Indian system of music, there are 7 musical notes in the scale sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, okay, and again comes to sa, means the first and the second resemble the same property. Okay, so they use the notations. The Western world use the notations do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Okay, and again it comes to do. The notes in the scale are separated by whole and half step frequency intervals of tones and semitones. A musician uses the notes for composing the music of a song. Okay, whatever type of Indian song you listen today, all of them are based on these seven basic notes of our ancient times, Saregama Padani. Okay, naturally there must be some repetition of notes. Every eighth note is similar to the first and it is the first note of the next scale. All right, I love Punjabi folk music. Okay, and if you are belonging to the northern India, you may also love it. Or if you belong to South India, where people don't know the North Indian language and culture, okay, even they are too much in love of Punjabi music, that is called as Bhangra. Fine, coming back to our studies, it was found that the laws of octaves were applicable only up to calcium, as after calcium every eighth element did not possess properties similar to that of the first. That means we can say that Newland's octave, okay, was a little bit more enhanced, okay, and more clearer, more correct than the triad rule given by this person Dauvergne, whatever is the name. It is not Indian name, so don't worry about that. Fine. It was assumed by Newlands that only 56 elements existed in nature and no more element would be discovered in future. So Newland thought that only 56 elements are known and we cannot have any other element in future. But later on several new elements were discovered whose properties did not fit into the law of octaves. Okay, so again here we got that Newland's law of octave has come to an end and we have rejected it, and scientists found out something new, okay, that in such a way that the new elements found out after number 56 can be arranged. Okay, in order to fit elements in his table, Newland adjusted two elements in the same slot but also put some unlike elements under the same note. Okay, so as you can see here in table 5.3, okay, here cesium and lanthanum, okay, they are put in the same group. Okay, likewise cobalt and nickel were put in the same place. Okay, so this brought a disaster to Newland's octaves. Can you find from table 5.3? Yes, we just have seen this. Note that cobalt and nickel are in the same slot and these are placed in the same column as fluorine, chlorine and bromine, which have very different properties than these elements. Okay, so as you can see here, cobalt and nickel, they are placed with fluorine, chlorine and bromine. So the properties here, okay, were too much different from each other. Okay, let me clear this. Okay, likewise iron, which resembles cobalt and nickel in properties, has been placed far away from these elements. Okay, iron has properties very similar to that of nickel and cobalt, but it was not placed at the 8th position from each other, and this has brought some confusion among the researchers at that time. Thus, Newland's law of octaves worked well with lighter elements only up to calcium, but after that it failed. How that we can arrange the elements, okay, in PT. Now, section 5.2, making order out of chaos, Mendeleev's periodic table. Okay, Mendeleev has arranged elements. Okay, he has got a lot of achievements. Okay, and scientists started giving credit to his work, okay, for a lot of years, but even though it has come to an end. So let us see what are its good things and what are its drawbacks. Even after the rejection of Newland's law of octaves, many scientists continued to search for a pattern that correlated the properties of elements with the atomic masses, with their atomic masses. Okay, means still the research work was in progress. So this is the figure portrait of Dmitry Ivanovich Mendeleev. Dmitry. Okay, the name suggests he may be a Russian, but let us see what is given in the book. The main credit for classifying elements goes to Dmitry Ivanovich Mendeleev, a Russian chemist. Yes, I was correct. Okay, the word Dmitry, okay, is mostly related to Russians. Okay, Russian, Kazakhs, Ukrainians. Okay, Rajowski. Okay, Dmitry. Okay, Mendelian, Mendeleev. Okay, these are some Russian names. Okay, he was the most important contributor to the early development of a periodic table of elements wherein the elements were arranged on the basis of their fundamental property, the atomic mass, and also to the similarity of chemical properties. Means he was too much in depth, okay, to arrange the periodic table, okay, where elements were arranged in balanced form according to their fundamental property of atomic mass, okay, and their chemical properties. So here is something given about Mendeleev. Let us see what is given. Dmitry Ivanovich Mendeleev was born in Tobolsk in western Siberia, Russia on 8th February 1834. Okay, wow, date is also mentioned here. After his early education, Mendeleev could join a university only due to the efforts of his mother. Dedicating his investigations to his mother, he wrote, "She instructed with example, correlated with love, and traveled with me to places, spending her last resources and strengthened." Okay, means he was a good follower of his mother, and whatever he has found out, whatever work he has done, okay, all the work has gone on the credit of his mother. Okay, mothers are really awesome. Okay, whenever you get hurt, your mother can feel your pain, not anybody else. I miss my mother very badly. Okay, fine. She instructed a lot of things. Okay, she knew that with the aid of science, without violence, with love but firmness, okay, all superstitions, untruth, and errors can be removed. So whatever evil things he has seen in the society, okay, he said that everything can be removed with the knowledge of science. The arrangement of elements he proposed is called Mendeleev's periodic table. Okay, the periodic table proved to be the unifying principle in chemistry, and it was the motivation for the discovery of some new elements. Okay, so Mendeleev not only has done a lot, but he also has given some place for the future physicists and chemists to work. Okay, when Mendeleev started his work, 63 elements were known. Okay, means up to something around 1850s. Okay, 63 elements were known. Okay, scientists these days are trying to find out some elements which are not known till now. Sometimes they are trying to make some synthetic elements, or they are also trying to trap elements from outside the earth, that means from space. Okay, he examined the relationship between the atomic masses of the elements and their physical and chemical properties. Among chemical properties, Mendeleev concentrated on the compounds formed by elements with oxygen and hydrogen. Okay, so he tried to find out a relationship, okay, in the chemical properties of compounds, okay, which were the compounds of oxygen and hydrogen, elements having compounds with oxygen and hydrogen, and based on the result he tried to make some arrangements in the periodic table. He selected hydrogen and oxygen as they are very reactive and formed compounds with most elements, and also easily available everywhere. Okay, and it is very easy to synthesize hydrogen and oxygen in the laboratory. Even you can synthesize it at your home just by electrolysis of water. The formulae of the hydrides and oxides formed by element were treated as one of the basic properties of elements for its classification. Okay, means to classify the elements, okay, based on their chemical properties, he tried to find out what are the properties of the hydrides of elements and the oxides of elements. Okay, he took then 63 cards, and On each card he wrote down the properties of one element. Okay, means for each element he took one card and he wrote the properties of their oxides and hydrides in them and tried to arrange them. He sorted out the elements with similar properties or pinned the cards together on a wall. Okay, means whenever he had found that the properties of some elements according to their compounds of hydrides and oxides, okay, he stick them in the similar row on the wall. He observed that most of the elements got placed in a periodic table and were arranged in the order of their increasing atomic masses. Okay, so till now he was dwelling with the atomic mass of the elements known up to that time, that is 63 elements. It was also observed that there occurs a periodic recurrence of elements with similar physical and chemical properties. Okay, so while arranging all the cards depending upon the properties physical and chemical, okay, he found that there happens some occurrence that one element, okay, when they come in the same place with the other element, there are some resemblance in their properties. Okay, and on this basis Mendeleev formulated the periodic law, which states the properties of elements are the periodic function of their atomic masses. So please remember this term. Mendeleev's periodic table is based on that properties of elements are the periodic function of their atomic masses. Okay, Mendeleev's periodic table is contains vertical columns called as groups and horizontal rows called as periods, and this group and period is still we follow. Okay, so here in table 5.4 it is given, okay, group 1 2 3 up to 8, and then from top to bottom you can see here left to right periods. Okay, so you can see here how they are being arranged: R2O, RO, R2O3, RO2. These are the oxides and hydrides given, okay, for each element, and he found out, and this way they are arranged. Okay, there are some similarities in their hydrides and oxides, and like this he stuck his notes on the wall. Okay, so Mendeleev's periodic table was published in a German journal in 1872. In the formula for oxides and hydrides, at the top of the elements the letter R is used to represent any element in this group. Okay, so as you can see here, R2O, RO, R2O3, RH3. So, okay, so here at the place of R it is the element, okay, and then oxide and hydrides as given there. Okay, note the way formulas are written. For example, the hydride of carbon CH4 is written as RH4 and oxide of CO2 as RO2, as you can see here. So just remove R and substitute there with the element. Okay, so by this way Mendeleev has tried to separate each element, okay, and also he tried to make a periodic table based on the chemical properties of elements on their oxides and hydrides. Okay, even though this was rejected, but it has given a lot of experience to the future scientists. Okay, and also till now we take help of this table. Okay, so coming to section 5.2.1, achievements of Mendeleev's periodic table. Okay, that what are the things we have got from Mendeleev's periodic table. Okay, but it seems that we have crossed half an hour and this lecture is going to be long. So in next video we will study about the achievements of Mendeleev, okay, and what we have learned from him, okay, and what are the limitations and different types of classifications, and also we will study about some different modern scientists who try to find out how the elements can be arranged in a periodic table, okay, so that the work become easier, okay, that and to find the properties of the element will become easier. Okay, so this is the end of our today's video. In next video we will study a lot of new things. I hope you have enjoyed our today's video. Okay, and at last, once again I ask you to please subscribe our channel Pratik Singh Classes. This channel is not only by me. Okay, my sister also work for this channel, Sumitra madam. Okay, she also works for this channel together, and she is handling social, okay, for Tamil syllabus, and also for very soon we will start some English portion, maybe CBSE, ICSE or English Tamil. Okay, if you are preparing for UPSC, or if your elder brothers or sisters are preparing for CBSE, okay, our social classes may be more advantageous for those people. Okay, so till my next video, take care of yourself. Bye bye.